The Pelicans start their post-trade deadline campaign. Sans Jose Alvarado with a win against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's unpack the trade deadline. Let's talk about the Minnesota game. All that today on Flock.
Ready?
So g'day everyone and welcome to Flock, a New Orleans Pelicans podcast. I am your host, Lyle Swithenbank, at Lyle Swithenbank on Twitter and on TikTok, at Lyle Pels on Instagram. If you've been following along for a little bit and want to see more of this, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit the thumbs up. We appreciate all the support. In a season that perhaps we don't really want to engage with Pels content quite as much, but onwards and upwards is all we can say. As we know, you've probably seen by now, the trade deadline in the NBA has come to a close. The Pelicans made one move, and that was to trade fan favourite, cult hero, Jose Alvarado. One of those guys that I think everyone will say is an embodiment of what this team wanted to put on the court and resonated with New Orleans fans, resonated with the city, resonated with NBA fans across the league. He plays hard, he plays the right way. He's a showman. He's a spark plug. And I think the Knicks have got a fantastic piece in Jose Alvarado. So the Knicks receive Jose Alvarado and the Pelicans received Dalen Terry, 2 second-round picks and some cash, because that's what we love in New Orleans, particularly on Airline Drive. Now, Dalen Terry has since been waived, which has opened up a roster spot, which, as we assume, will be filled by Bryce McGowan's on a full contract, bringing him off the two-way and adding him to the main list, which we'll talk about him a little bit in the Minnesota game. Seems like it was a good idea. If you had to lose Jose Alvarado and you were going to bring in someone, well, better the devil you know in Bryce McGowan's. But this does end one of the, I suppose it's the first shoe to drop after previous trades, and sort of heading towards a new outlook for this team. You trade Jose Alvarado. We've slowly moved off Griff guys that Griff had brought in, and start changing a little bit to perhaps focus on the future while also having a foot firmly in the existing camp of Zion Williamson and also Trey Murphy. As we saw a lot of the rumours before the trade deadline, the Pelicans have pretty much said that they've got a playoff team here. And I pause for dramatic effect after winning 14 games. And that their core is untouchable. So Zion, Trey, Herb, they needed like Desmond Bain type offers to move Trey, which was 4 first-round picks. There's plenty to unpack from all of that. And the difficulty is when you've got Derek Queen, when you've got Jeremiah Fears, and you see these guys as perhaps key cornerstones going forward, you need to give them the opportunity to really thrive. And perhaps moving Jose opened up more minutes for Jeremiah Fears, and we'll have a look at the box score to confirm that. Otherwise, it looks like it was just filled directly by Bryce McGowan's. But the Knicks have got a really great player, the perfect sort of complement to what they're doing over there, playing hard, causing a ruckus. He's from New York originally, grew up supporting the Knicks, so I'm glad that they took care of him because he was great to cheer for. There was plenty of games that were turned on his antics and his ability to just generate energy, I guess, off the bench. And yeah, it's bittersweet because I'm glad that he gets to go to a new team that's, successful this year, or looks like they're going to be. And he gets to go home. Whereas, I'm a bit sad that I don't get to cheer for him anymore. But I'll be keeping a keen eye on how he goes at the Knicks, and hopefully he does well. But Knicks fans will love him anyway. So, with that being said, thanks, Jose, for all of that. Now, to yesterday's game. The Pelicans end their road trip against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they won after a bizarre loss in overtime against the Milwaukee Bucks a couple of days ago. You then roll into Minnesota and you say, not today. You managed to claw back a massive deficit. I think it was 18 points at one point to win 119 to 115 against a fully healthy Minnesota team that's sixth in the West. A team that has been in the Western Conference Finals, has Anthony Edwards, has Rudy Gobert. Plenty of good players. Julius Randle. And we managed to do it. So what happened? How did we manage to pull this off? Well, quarter by quarter, it was an arm wrestle, and I thought we were stuffed after the second quarter because we were bad in that. Weren't moving the ball, turning it over, making silly decisions, and really just not playing that well. But first quarter, 34 to 32, come out the gates hot, back and forth. Rudy Gobert looked like he was going to be a real problem for us. He kept getting these easy layups. We sort of adjusted, put Yves Messi on him, and then went Saddiq Bey, went a bit smaller, and that then sort of disrupted a little bit what the Timberwolves wanted to do. We shot astronomically from the field. We were really good for most of the game. Quarter two, 38 to 22. So you get smacked in the second quarter. What I liked, and what we've seen as a trend since Willie Green was fired, I've said it on here a bit, is our third quarters have been excellent. So 33 to 24, they went through spurts of like 4 or 5 minutes without scoring a field goal, and that's with a lot of free throws. And that's not to disparage because they were playing in the paint, they were getting those calls. We were as well, but also we were sort of making more shots, so you weren't getting bailed out with free throws. And also, a lot of them came from where we were giving them space. So you had Julius Randle, you had Anthony Edwards, who managed to get one-on-one. And if you don't foul, or if you don't, double team, they're going to draw a foul, or they're going to score on you, or both. And we saw that a fair bit, particularly in that second quarter and into the third, and even down the stretch. But last quarter, 30 to 21, the Pelicans come steaming home. And even when they were up a little bit and Timberwolves came back, it looked like we were in a bit of strife. A couple of big threes. I think Bones Highland was excellent for them again. Proper clutch shots down the stretch. And Micah Peavy, Bryce McGowan's, these guys, Herb Jones, these guys came out and put clamps on Anthony Edwards on the defensive end. Made it difficult for them. Julius Randle did a bit of hero ball and decided to wave off Ant-Man down the stretch, and we ended up holding on. Thanks to Saddiq Bey, thanks to Zion Williamson, thanks to Trey Murphy. Derek Queen hit 4 of 4 from 3. Like, this is what we want to see. We want to see this fluid ball movement, advancing the ball, hitting shots. And probably the toughest part of this is the hitting shots part, right? We've been doing it for a bit, but man, when you're getting 4 of your 5 starters around the 20-point mark, and in fact, Bay and Zion were on 30 and 29, 17 for Queen and 26 for Trey Murphy. I mean, what more do you want? That's excellent. So let's have a look at the stats. Field goal percentage, we shot 53% from the field, which was great, 43 of 80. They had 40 of 95, 42%. We won the 3 points made. We had 15 3-pointers made at 44% to 13 of 40 for Minnesota at 32%. Did they have an off-night shooting? Absolutely. Did we make it easy for them? No, I don't think so. I felt like we were chasing them off the line a fair bit. We were making them uncomfortable. There were defensive breakdowns. There always are throughout the game. But for the most part, if they gave us a look, we took it, and we made it difficult for them. 22 to 26 free throws. I feel like that was evened out a little bit towards the end of the quarter of the game when Zion just kept charging in and getting hacked. Before that, at one point, it was something like 18 to 9 or 22 to 9 free throw attempts. But Minnesota, or both of us, were quite good, 18 to 22 and 22 to 26 respectively. This is a stat that stands out to me. The New Orleans Pelicans had 29 assists on 43 made field goals. That's excellent. I was so stoked with that. Minnesota, 22 assists. That means we're moving the ball. That means we're putting each other in positions to be successful. I really like, and we're going to break down who got the assists coming up, but I quite like that ball movement. And funny what happens when we slow down a little bit and compose and make layups and make shots and look for the open man. Sometimes the shots will fall, as we saw today. Rebounds, we did lose, but again, they've got big rebounders, 39 to 47. Points off turnovers was 18 to 17. Offensive rebounds, this is probably where we lost, was Minnesota 20 to 6. So they got a lot of extra opportunities. They had 15 extra field goal attempts, 95 to 80. But 20 offensive rebounds. And a lot of them come from long shots that they missed, and others were just Rudy Gobert being massive. So, little bit tricky on that one. Over to the box score, Saddiq Bey in 34 minutes, I thought was excellent. Played really well. 30 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. 10 of 21, 3 of 10 from 3, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, and only 1 turnover. He was a +4, and I've loved what Saddiq's been doing. He's been excellent for us. Has really carried the offense, particularly down the stretch. He's the sort of guy that's like, all right, we're mucking around now, I'm just going to go and get a bucket. And that has been a revelation, that we have someone that is just willing to not muck around outside the three-point line. No, I'll just go in there. I don't need to over-dribble it. Give me the ball. I'll go down low and go and get it. And we've appreciated that. Zion in this one I thought was very good, particularly to close the game out. He was aggressive. He was taking everything that they were giving him. Nearly 32 minutes, 29 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, 11 of 13 from the field. He was unstoppable. 7 of 9 from the free throw line. He had 3 turnovers, but +7 on the night. I thought he was really good. And when he's had a couple of quiet nights where he's getting more rebounds, he was probably less focused on scoring because other guys were doing it around him. Trey was on, with a massive 44-point game the other day. It meant that he could take a back seat and focus on rebounding. In this one, he was off the boards a lot, but he did the scoring, and in this one, that's what we needed. Derek Queen, I thought, was great in this one, 17, 8, and 3. He had a block, 6 of 11, 4 of 4 from 3, including a massive one down the stretch. Rudy Gobert sat in that hole the whole game, so Derek Queen stood out in the perimeter and punished him. No turnovers. They gave him a -5, but I thought he was good. 26 points for Trey Murphy. He has, whatever slump he was in, he has shed exponentially. With 26, 5, and 6, 9 of 15. He had a block, 6 of 10 from 3. They keep giving him looks, and he keeps punishing them. He only had 2 free throw attempts. He was shooting from outside a little bit more. 3 turnovers, but a +9, and he was our best player, drilled with Eve, on the +-. Herb Jones had a bit of foul trouble in this one. Wasn't his best game, but again, 3 steals, 2, 4, and 5. Did a bit of everything. 3 steals, 1 of 4 shooting, missed his 3 threes, had 4 turnovers. So, again, they gave him a 0. So, he wasn't good, he wasn't bad. And I think that what that says is that defensively he was great and offensively he was awful. And I think that was probably fair enough on this one. What I did like is they ran this zone, and they talked about it on the broadcast, was Herb Jones becoming the center of the zone rather than being out on the perimeter sort of calling plays. He was quarterbacking. He was standing there directing traffic, making sure that the zone flexed, and it gave Minnesota some absolute hell. They just could not work it out, and I thought that was a great defensive maneuver that the Pelican staff put together. Fears off the bench, 27 minutes. He had 2 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, which I loved, but he was 1 of 7 shooting, 4 turnovers. They gave him a +5. To be fair, if you told me his stat line, if I watched the game and then saw his stat line, I would think they were different games. I thought he was more effective than the stats portrayed. There was a couple of great passes. Clearly the shooting was bad, but it was sort of made up. It didn't feel like he was taking them out of turn. There wasn't really that many forced carry-ons that he sometimes has a tendency to do. But again, a poor game based on that. Carlo Matkovic, 0 points, 2 rebounds and an assist, and he was actually first guy off the bench in this one. I think Rudy Gobert was giving us a bit of pain, so they wanted to find something else. Carlo ended up worst on ground, -11. So yeah, that didn't work. Bryce McGowan's 27 points. Still on his 2-way contract, should be converted soon. Pretty much closed the game for us. He was excellent down the stretch. Hit a big 3. He went on a 5-0 run to close the game out. 11 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 1 block, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, 1 of 2, no turnovers and a +2. Bryce McGowan's, there's a lot of difficulty when you're coming in off not playing for a couple of games, or a lot of games actually. You've just had a cult favourite, a fan favourite traded, and basically you've been tapped on the shoulder to replace him. There was pressure on him. What we saw was a guy that was guarding Anthony Edwards on one end, making the right reads, and then punishing them at the other end. I thought he was great. There was a bit of isolation there. There was some catch and shoot threes. There was some floaters. There was attacking the paint. Lots of different things. I thought he was great. Eve Messi in this one, quiet one. It was definitely a Derek Queen game. As we're seeing, they sort of complement each other. 15 minutes for Eve, 2 points, 4 rebounds and assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 of 2 shooting, no turnovers. He was a +9. When he came on, he did a lot of damage, but we went offense rather than defense in this one. I think we recognised that Rudy Gobert was just massive and it didn't really matter. We sort of needed to drag him out the hole to open up space for Zion instead. Peavy played 2 minutes, missed his 1 shot. I thought he was fine. He had a couple of good defensive possessions, but, you're in for 2 minutes. What are you going to do? So, all in all, Pelicans win 119 to 115. Minnesota, what'd they have? Who was good? Randall, 24 and 8, 12 and 16, 3 steals and 2 blocks for Rudy Gobert, 35 points for Anthony Edwards, and 20 for Bones Highland off the bench. Back and forth game, but what it showed was improvement. Because we've had games where the Pelicans have just been awful. We've all lived them. We've had ones where we've given up easy wins. We've given up ones that we should have won. All you had to do was just continue doing what you did for the other 46 minutes of the game and lose with 2 minutes to go. Or go to overtime and lose in that. They took care of the ball. Actually, no, we didn't. We had 16 turnovers, which was not good. And they had 9. So, in this one, actually, we did take care of the ball and we did better than when we do. So, I don't know, maybe we're playing with a bit more pace. It felt like a back and forth game. It felt like a game that we were in the whole time, but looked like we were about to die at the tail of the game. And when you're getting that, it felt like the same old story. You're not really invested, and then Bryce McGowan says, I'm not going to lose. Zion says, I'm not going to lose, and Sadiq Bey takes over, and we close this game out, and it's little improvements, right? We're not dead last in the West. We're better than the Kings now. We got 14 wins, but again, this is a season of who knows what we're going to be doing. And there still doesn't seem to be a way forward. The trade deadline was telling that Joe Dumas and Troy Weaver think they've got the talent here to compete. The difficulty is that even with the health and the availability of these guys, Zion's played the most games in a row in his whole career, touch wood. Trey Murphy's emergence has been great. Sadiq Bey's been a revelation as well. Finding Derek Queen, we're still not winning consistently. And whether that's a coaching thing, whether that's a team thing in terms of the actual roster. We haven't got a consistent approach or consensus on this, and that's what makes it really frustrating. Is that we've got a foot in each camp. We can't tank because we don't have a pick. We didn't get any first round picks at the trade deadline. Guys that were rumbling to go, we held on to. You're still wondering what's happening with Jordan Poole. He's got $60 million owed over the next 2 years. You got Kevon Looney there, who has a team option, so we could essentially get rid of him after this year. And you've got DeJounte Murray, who still is on the Pelicans roster. And when you see videos of him mucking around out in Las Vegas or wherever he's living at the moment, Seattle, and not with the team, there's got to be a point where he comes back and he's either on the court playing, or what do you do? Buy him out? I don't even know if we can do that. There's probably too much of his contract left. And if you want to do like the wave and stretch, well, we don't want to pay DeJounte Murray for another 7 years. He's probably not even eligible. I haven't checked, but we're in a bit of a rock and a hard place. We've got bad contracts that don't expire next year. Jordan Poole will be more attractive in the off-season because he'll be coming expiring, I imagine. $30 million expiring contract. But these experiments that we've made haven't paid off. And yes, you're going to gamble. But for the most part, we're sitting there scratching our heads watching another team. We're watching team after team overlap us with no clear direction. And the only team that has less of a rudder, it appears, is the Kings. So, go figure. Go figure. But anyway, this is your weekend update. It was lovely to have a little win, and hopefully we can continue stringing a couple of games together. Right, next game is against it's against the Kings. It's the battle for the wooden spoon. 12-41 versus 14-40. You're saying there's a chance. This is back in New Orleans, and hope we get a good crowd out there. Maybe we'll beat them. I don't know. I hope. Be good to win 2-out win streak. We've had a couple of 2-game win streaks this year, but we'll see. So anyway, let's leave it at that. This has been Flock, a New Orleans Pelicans podcast. I'm your host, Lyle Swithenbank, at Lyle Swithenbank on Twitter and on TikTok, at Lyle Pels on Instagram. Like I said at the start, if you like what you're listening to and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up. We're just, we're ticking along. We're having fun. I'll be here, and we'll be recapping those games as they come out. So, stay safe, and of course, bye for now.